Welcome to Shit's Getting Real with Sax, where we strip back the filters and get raw about life, money, emotions, and business. This is your safe space for unfiltered conversations, the kind that make you feel seen, understood, and deeply connected to something bigger. No bullshit, no pretending, just real stories, deep truths, and the occasional existential crisis. Because life, it's messy, it's magical, and it's meant to be truly felt. Hello, party people, and welcome back to another episode of Shit's Getting Real with Sax. Today, we are talking about an emotional rut because personally, I just got back from Thailand. I spent 3 weeks in the fabulous, beautiful country that is Thailand, and I have bawled my eyes out every single day since I have been home. So, let's talk about it, shall we? So, there isn't particularly anything that I personally am really fixated on. I feel like I have a fantastic life. I am so blessed with the friendships that I have, the family that I have, the business opportunities that I have. Like, I just got back from 3 weeks in Thailand, for God's sake. Come on now. I do not feel like this is a point in time where these emotions really need to be coming to the surface or where I really should be bawling my eyes out every single day. However, what I know about emotions and about emotional suppression is a lot of the time when we're actually in a great place or when things are going well in our life or when we're stable enough emotionally, things that we have been suppressing tend to come to the surface because it's actually safe for us to be able to process them in that time. Whereas when we're in a fight or flight mode or when we're in that survival mode, we don't allow ourselves the space and time to actually process through emotions, right? Now, the emotions that I'm feeling a lot of the time is a fear, and it's a fear of financials. And it's because of the fact that I'm at a point in my life, and I'm going to be vulnerable here. I'm at a point in my life where I'm making the least amount of money I think I have ever made since I started working. And that is scary to me because I went from making $20,000 in a month in January of 2023. I had that. And then I went traveling and everything was great and business was good and I was doing everything that I wanted to do. And then obviously my dad passed away. If you're a long time listener, I speak about this a lot because it was such a pivotal moment for me. And there is still elements of grief that I am dealing with that are processing through in this emotional rut as well. However, I don't particularly feel like that is one of the main things that I'm going through right now. However, this financial stress or this financial burden is really difficult because when Dad passed away, I chose to step back from business and to release the necessity to have that financial security coming in. And what that meant was I let go of a lot of the consistency of what I was doing. So I stopped meditating. I stopped journaling as much. I stopped exercising as much because I was on holiday and I was with the girls and I was just partying because I didn't want to think about the fact that I was dealing with a dead dad. And all these other factors just came in and I stopped being the person that I was. And I can see that now and I can notice that now. And it's actually crazy because I was saying to my mum just the other day about how I just don't feel like I know myself anymore. And I don't feel like myself when I'm in this emotional rut place, which, by the way, I feel like I've been in predominantly for the last 6 months, at least, if not 1.5 years. And I was explaining to her about how I just don't feel like myself. And I don't know what it is because I still have so much love for myself. and I still have so much gratitude for myself. And I'm still in this place of like, it doesn't make sense to me because I have so much self-worth, and so much self-love, and so much what I would expect as emotional regulation, that this financial stuckness that I feel isn't making sense. And it's making me frustrated, and it's making me fearful, and it's making me hurt. Because honestly, this last week that I've been back in Australia, all I've been is falling into this victim mentality of, why can't I figure out what the universe is trying to teach me right now? Why can't I move through this feeling and be on the other side? Because the actual emotion that I'm feeling isn't making sense to me in regards to a suppressed emotion or thought, or a childhood thought or problem. Like, I'm one of these people where a lot of the time an emotional thing that happens in my life, what I'll instantly do is go back into like, okay, how can my inner child be helped right now? Where is this problem? Where is this belief? Where is this issue in my life stemming from? And this is how I move through emotions so quickly, and also why I have so much acceptance over negative emotions, because I realize that these negative emotions that I'm feeling in my life as an adult, they all stem from an emotional place, generally in childhood. And who the hell am I to be upset at the childhood version of me who just wanted love and kindness and compassion and care and time and effort? If I can provide all of those things, then I can move through the emotion, and I can choose to let it go, and I can evolve into a bigger and better person. And don't get me wrong, guys, I love evolving. I really do. And I'm so happy to be the person that I am and have the perspective of what I just said, because it does make my life so much easier. And right now, I'm struggling like fuck to do that. Literally, it is so difficult for me to move through this, because it doesn't feel like this emotion right now is connected to a limiting belief. And I don't know what to do if it's not connected to a limiting belief. And so I see it as another opportunity for growth, and I see it as another opportunity of evolution. However, to be able to actually go into that and to process through this emotion and to move out of the emotional rut and back into a state of abundance and positivity on all aspects of my life, one, I need to be honest with everyone, honest about my feelings, honest about where I'm at, and honest with myself. Because I know the only person who's put me in this emotional rut is me. Here I am sitting here being like, universe, why, universe, why, universe, why? However, it was me. The emotion is by me. The emotional reaction is from me. And that means that I'm the only person who can get myself back out of it. And if you're like me, bro, are you sick of hearing that? Are you so sick of having to do it all by yourself? Because that's been me. And actually, now that I say that out loud, I think that that's probably the reason why I'm even in this victim mentality in the first place, because I have been really focusing on not wanting to do it all by myself for the last 1.5 to 2 years. And that remembering, or every single time something happens and I remember that, shit, I'm the only person who can do anything about it. I'm the only person who can change this. I'm the only person who can feel, do, change, be any type of way. it sucks. It really sucks. And it's really hard to deal with. And then I sit in the suck. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, get me out of this motherfucking suck. I do not want to be in here anymore. I want to be out. I want to be free. I want to be living my life the way that I know I deserve to live it. Because even the point of the frustration that I'm feeling with these financials or emotions that don't feel like they're moving or other frustrations that are coming up in my life, I've completely lost my train of thought. Never mind. It's related to whatever it was that I said just before I said that. Okay? Whatever that was that I said, it's related to that. Anyways, I want to tell you guys what it is that I'm going to be focusing on and what it is that I'm going to be doing to actually get myself out of this rut. And these are things that I tell my clients to do all of the time. And these are the things that deep down in myself, I know I should be doing on a more consistent and regular basis. However, I haven't been. And clearly, not doing them is not working out very well for me right now. And I'm sick of crying so much. And I'm sick of feeling sorry for myself. And I just want to change. And I want to be better. And I want to do better. And I want to be on the energetic frequency that everything goes right for me all the time. The universe loves me. Money loves me. Everyone loves me. You're all obsessed with me. You all want to buy all of my products because they're phenomenal. And I know that they're phenomenal because I created them with so much love and intention. And yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm getting off track. So what are the things that I'm going to be doing to actually pull myself out of this emotional hole? One, I am making prioritized time for silence. Quiet, alone time, silence. And the reason I'm doing this is because for the last generally 2 years, I basically haven't spent any time really alone. And that's crazy to me. And I know with myself, when I'm around other people, I'm not able to fully allow myself to drop into the emotion, to drop into the feeling, to drop into what it is that comes up when triggers happen. Therefore, when things do come up, I'll just push them down and be like, I'll deal with them later. But I haven't really given myself the time and the energy and the space to allow them to come back up to the surface. And so at the moment, I'm almost like a cup that's overfilling because there's so much stuff that I need to process. And I haven't given myself the time and space to actually let that come to the surface as it needs to. And the brain knows. And me sitting here being like, I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. It's because I'm trying so hard to do everything. And healing doesn't always come in the doing. Healing comes in the being, the nurturing and the acceptance and the love of the being. So prioritizing meditations, even on my walks today, I didn't listen to anything until the last part. I was just like, you know what? I'm actually just going to allow the flow of thoughts to come through me, and I'm just going to follow my little thought train. I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to ridicule it. If fun things come up, I can note them down. Like this podcast, for example. This podcast idea came to me as I was on my walk today in silence, because I was like, okay, how am I going to move through this thing? And I was like, you know what? You should just start talking about it, because the best way to learn is to teach others. And so by teaching you guys what I'm doing, I'm also holding myself more accountable, because I've now made a promise to myself that these are the things that I'm going to be doing to get myself out of this rut, right? And the most beautiful part of the walk was that in the moments where my brain was sort of like going into a negative loop, all I had to do was flip it into a positive loop again, because I'm actually paying attention to the thoughts that I'm having. And so as I was walking, I started literally affirming to myself. And I used to do this all the time when I would run, which I also want to start doing again now that I've noticed this pattern. I would run and I'd be like, you're so great. You're so amazing. You can do anything. Look at how fast you are. Look at how great you are. Everyone loves you. Like, everything is perfect. You're doing so great. Things are going so well for you. You're so strong. You're so determined. You're so passionate. Everything is great. And it would be this constant loop of just positive reaffirmations again and again and again. And I think that when you're in a negative rut, or when you're in an emotional state, it's hard to set intentions that are that positive. And so being able to give yourself that silent time and allow yourself to distance from the distraction, distance from the phone, from the music, from the podcasts, from the phone calls, from the text messages, from everything else, you actually learn what it is that you want to be telling yourself. You learn what it is that you're missing and what it is that you need to give yourself more love, more acceptance, and more guidance on right now. So making space in every little area. Think about how overstimulated doing dishes is while watching a show. Instead of, like, as a society, we're so used to being taught that being bored is the worst thing in the world that we don't do anything without overstimulating ourselves. We don't eat without watching something. We don't drive without listening to something or watching something. I know so many people who tell me that they literally drive and watch YouTube videos at the same time, which, by the way, is dangerous and not something I condone. However, agreed. Again, it's just another form of overstimulation. So where in these moments of time can you choose to actually just have silence in the micro moments? Because those are the moments of mindfulness that allow you to actually breathe, check in with yourself, check in with the emotion that's going on, and also check in with the thought loop that is going on in your head, and be able to reframe it into whatever thought loop you actually want to be thinking right now. So silence and alone time, your actual best friend in this emotional time. Your best friend. Because you can't go through it by avoiding it. You can only process through the emotional rut by actually giving yourself space and time to create the negative into a positive. Second thing I'm doing is movement. And I know that's such a basic butch answer, but there's a reason why it works. It works because movement creates a life flow of energy through your body, and the emotions that are stuck in different locations, which, by the way, cause things like illness and pain and injuries. A lot of females who suffer from endometriosis and PCOS who have worked with me in the past don't experience these symptoms anymore, because what they found was all of their emotion was actually just being stored there. And that was why it was creating so much issues for them. So if you're someone who's sitting here and you're listening and you're thinking, oh my God, I have that recurring pain in my neck, in my shoulders, in my back, in my hip, in my foot, in my this, in my that, check in with yourself, because a lot of the time it's actually from an emotional point of view. And what you can do is search up spiritual meaning, or you can look up metaphysical reason of the particular pain that you're looking at. And majority of websites and things like that online will actually give you tasks or structures or routines or something that you can do to help you give that a little bit more love and attention. So I would also recommend to do that if you're experiencing physical pain. However, movement, back to the original point, movement allows this life flow energy to actually flow through our body, through our muscles, through our bones, through our systems, through our blood. And it creates a shift in the energy. You're changing your physicality, which will change your mentality, which will also change your emotional soul, right? This is why people cry all the time when they do workouts, because movement creates emotional energy movement too. So being in this emotional rut place, or being in this emotional pit that it feels like, moving my body and allowing myself another avenue to release and to shift and to change is really, really, really vital. Plus all of the other health benefits of movement, right? And right now I'm going back into weight sessions because I've joined back up to the gym for the next 6 months, well, on a 6-month contract. So this booty getting fatter and my happiness is getting bigger. This smile, the bigger the smile, the fatter the bum. That's what I'm thinking. That's my 2025 mood. And it helps me feel strong, and it helps me feel determined. And it also provides a discipline and a consistency, right? Putting your body through physical exertion shows how much you love and care about your body, because you want it to be healthy and happy and safe. And so really, movement is just another form of self-love. And I'm not saying that you should be going around and doing 24/7 HIIT classes and making yourself cry every day from movement. No. Movement can be as simple as every single night before you go to bed, you spend 5 minutes on the floor doing some simple stretches. Allow the energy to flow through you. Allow the movement to flow through you. Allow yourself to center into your physical body so that you can release the things that are making you feel stuck in the emotional rut, right? The third thing is being in nature, or the sun, or looking at nature, or watching children, or watching dogs, or happy, good videos. Because when you're in this emotional state of negativity, or when you're in a loop of emotional negativity, it can feel like it's hard to see the bright side, right? However, when I'm in nature and I'm silent, there is so much beauty, and there is so much tranquility, and there is so much duality that I cannot possibly help but feel at one with the universe. Today, I was down at the foreshore in Mandurah, and I haven't really anyone who's from Mandurah would understand. The foreshore is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it has a bad reputation of being just a little bit scungy. Just a little bit scungy. And it's nicer now than it was when I was a teenager, but it still has a little bit of a feeling of scunginess. But I was walking and I was just so astounded by how blue the water was and how green the trees were and just how much beauty there was in this place that for the last week I've been feeling really negative about, because I just came from a beautiful place in Thailand, right? And I got back here and I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't like it here. I feel stuck here. Everyone sucks here. Everything sucks here. It's not nice. I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, this is the sort of things that go on in my head. And to be there today, it was like a whole weight was lifted off my shoulders. And I was meant to be walking back home, but instead I literally sat down on the foreshore and meditated right next to the water. And I just stared at it for so long, being like, wow, what's the point of being sad? I actually have a blessed life. I have a beautiful place to call my home. I have incredible scenes of abundance beyond belief in front of me. And these 3 little swans came over to me, and I seen dolphins earlier. Like, being able to sit back and really spend time on this planet that we're here having the human experience of, and realize that these plants, they're just energy. They're just atoms that are bound together through an energetic field and an energetic force. And they're not that different to me. And they're not sitting here crying because of the fact that they're not making the money that they want to be making. They're just happy growing and shedding and growing and shedding and living their best plant life. And I'm simply just a plant that likes sun and water and being around other plants. And I think when you allow yourself to get back to the basics that deeply, you actually open up a world of abundance and love and gratitude that finances could possibly actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say that, because that is such a negative belief. And I think that you can find happiness and love and joy and abundance and beauty in everything in this world, including financials, including money. When they say money doesn't make you happier, that is a lie. That is a lie. That is a negative program that we have been taught to believe from childhood to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. I do not subscribe to that. No, I reject that statement. However, when you're in a place like me where financially maybe it's not so abundant right now, you can choose to believe in abundance through anything else. And nature is always going to be abundant. Always. Every single day. There is certainty that the sun and the moon will rise every single day. And that is just so beautiful, right? So the other thing that I'm doing more of is getting back into manifesting with the universe, because I have realized that I took a big step back from being very intentional about my manifestations, because I felt so connected with the universe and I felt so at one with the universe that it was like, the universe just gets me. It's fine. I don't have to write the things down. I don't have to do the practices. I don't have to do this. It's actually limiting me. And I think that that is true to a degree, because if you believe that to be able to obtain a manifestation or to be able to be at one with the universe, you have to follow a set structure of rules, that's actually limiting you from the energetic field that is creation. Because you can create out of anything and everything. You have the freedom to do that. However, being intentional about what you're creating and what you're bringing in is also really important. So a practice that I used to do that I'm bringing back to get me out of this emotional rut, and really I am doing this because of the fact that my main emotional rut right now is feeling like, why is the universe doing this to me? So if your main emotional rut is something else, then this practice could be done differently for you. And I want you to take that into account, because use your intuition, use the knowledge that you have of yourself, and use the relationship that you have with the universe to be able to create the things that you want, right? However, for me, what I'm doing right now to be able to co-create with the universe on a more intentional basis and to build back that relationship of love and acceptance and kindness. Because deep down, I know the universe loves me, and I know that this process that I'm going through right now is for my highest good. However, what my highest good is the bit that's frustrating me because I'm not getting it. And so if I'm not getting it from the universe, I'm going to create it with the universe. And I'm going to make this period of my life really mean something. So I was just thinking, wow, that was actually quite inspirational. Anyways, what I'm going to do is journal in a way of putting myself in my goal already. So yesterday, I began this practice again, and I was writing down in a new book, because this is different to my other journaling practices, in a new book. And I set out, actually, do you know what? Let me go and grab it. I'm going to go and grab it and read it for you. Okay. Dear universe, this month I'm so excited to have your help achieving my business and financial goals. I know and feel how much you love me and want what is best for me, so I would like to ask for your help in making these goals my reality, because I know I'm worthy of this and so much more. With your help, I promise to stay consistent with money meditations, posting and advertising, and gratitude and love. I know I can achieve these goals with ease, and I'm so grateful that you make it so easy for me to achieve them. Right? So that note in itself is identifying, for me personally, I wrote this because I was like, I need to remind myself, one, of who I am and the relationship that I actually have with the creator, and two, how worthy I actually am of having a great reciprocative, I don't know how to say that word, reciprocative relationship with them. And I say that word in particular because it's a 100-100 relationship. You can't give 50% and expect the universe to give you 50% to make 100. It's, I'm going to give 100% of everything that I can do to make this happen, and I'm expecting you to give 100% back to me. It's actually an equal value exchange, right? So this is why I highlighted, with your help, I am going to dedicate to this: my money meditations, my posting and advertising, and my gratitude and love. Because every single day I want these three things to be vital, because these are the three things in my life right now that I feel as though need the support the most. So instead of just saying, okay, universe, give me everything I want and I'm just going to kick back and relax, it's like, you need to give me these 3 things, but I'm also going to work for these 3 things, right? And then I went into writing out what my goal is financially and business-wise in a very long form. Honestly, it was a bit long in comparison to how I would write my goals otherwise. However, it was important for me to get really specific on all of these different aspects because I'm sick of being in this emotional rut. And I want to be specific about what's going to happen and get me out of it and how that is going to feel, what that is going to look like, and how I'm going to work towards that. So I have written, the day is the 28th of March, 2025, and I have made over 1,000 sales of my Align Yourself journal, and I have received over $10,000 profit while working from home. The momentum continues to grow as I make more sales every day from my online content that people all over the world are obsessed with. People are recommending my book to their friends and family, as well as sharing their purchase on their personal social media. My social media engagement is in the thousands and continues to increase every single day. My journal is in stores all over Mandurah and Perth, with wholesalers selling out and contacting me for more product. I feel so secure and proud of myself. I feel free to experience more life and so excited for the upcoming months ahead. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Right? This practice and being able to put this on paper is something that I'm going to be revisiting every single day for the month of March from yesterday when I started this, which was, I think, the 4th or the 5th. Because to me, the consistency of reminding myself of what I'm working towards creating is actually going to be that solidification of the gratitude and the love that is going to pull me out of this why me, right? So being able to actually set aside time and put intention into this is vital to getting you out of the emotional rut. Now, like I said, if your issue or the emotion that you're experiencing is different, that's cool. You can still do this same process. You can still write how you're feeling towards the universe. You can still write about creating a better relationship. You can still write out your goal. Oh, I forgot to say, the day is the 28th of March, 2025. That's how I write my goals because it's future pacing and it's a form of manifesting. It's a form of saying, this has already happened. It's not a, I hope that this happens. It's a, this is happening for me. This is what I see in my future. This is what I'm working towards. And this is what I'm going to create. And I'm going to stop at nothing energetically until this happens for me. Because that is going to get you out, right? And the last thing that I'm going to be focusing on is nothing. That's it. It's actually that easy. Those are the 4 things that I'm going to be focusing on this month to get myself out of this emotional hellhole of tears and crying and processing that I have been going through. Because you can only sit in your shit for so long, guys. It starts to smell real bad. And you need to get out for fresh air. Nature, fresh air, you know? So I suppose maybe I'll do a follow-up podcast in a month's time to see where I'm at in relation to those goals drop a comment or send me a message and let me know if that is something that you would be interested in listening to. Let me know if you loved what you heard, what you got out of it. Even if you're in an emotional rut at the moment, babe, you're not alone. You are never, ever, ever alone. I am always here to support you. My inbox is open 24/7. There is so many resources on my website to help you to gain more confidence, to gain more releases. There is meditations, there is affirmations for you, there is so many different things, all for free. Like, they're all up there for free. Go on and download them and allow yourself the space and the time and give yourself compassion. Give yourself so much more compassion. How can you choose to love every single day? Love deeper, love harder, love more. How can you bring the light down from the universe into your soul and out of your hands and out of your heart and out of your feet? How can you remind yourself that you are an energetic being and you are in control? Because that is where the real freedom lies. That is where the real light and love and kindness and joy and positivity and everything else, that is where it is. So thank you so much for listening. As always, I love you so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic week this week. I hope that all of your emotional worries get swept away and that you guys can just be fabulous as always. Remember to share with someone who you think might need this. Give me a 5-star review because I want to make sure that this podcast gets out and pushed out to more people. I don't do any advertising, so it would be really, really great to be able to get in front of more faces, to be in more ears, and to spread the word of the Lord. No, I'm just joking. But to be able to just allow people to have options, you know, to create a world where we can all lift each other up. I love you so much, so much. Have a fantastic week. I will see you guys soon. Mwah! Bye.